Well, it's 7 p.m. Eastern Time in Bethesda, Maryland, and thankfully, right here in Ventnor City, New Jersey. And this is Saturday night with your hosts, Zach and Ray, brought to you by, well, us, CarEdge. How the hell are you tonight, handsome?
I am doing great, Pops. Glad you are back home. Happy for you. Your apartment, your condo looks beautiful. I want to just cue this up, Dad. Tonight we are
Yes.
going to be talking about why you should not buy a car right now. The 60-day moratorium on car purchasing. That is what CarEdge is pushing. We are not pushing P, Pops. We are pushing a 60-day car buying moratorium. And I do want to remind everyone,
Yeah.
CarEdge.com, all sorts of free resources, and that is the new brand. We will have a video on Monday explaining why we made that decision and what you should be excited about. But Dad,
Yes.
60-day moratorium on buying cars. Why would I say such a thing?
Well, because it's a good thumbnail. It might attract attention, and it could. Oh no! Why? Why would you say? Because incentives might increase over the next 60 days. Inventory might build up over the next 60 days, and dealers might be more predisposed to discount the inventory that's on hand over the next 60 days. Is that what you're saying?
And Dad, the lead story in Auto News paints a very interesting picture about one part of the dealership in particular, Dad. Floor
Yes.
plan. It is a word and a phrase that you and I have been talking about more and more recently because it is important. Again, I'm going to put this up on the screen for a second, and then I want you to explain why, as floor plan revenue is expected to dive after years as a profit source, why would I then be saying, okay, now is the time for us as buyers to be patient and let some vehicles sit? Can you explain what floor plan is? And can you please explain how it became a profit center for dealerships and now why it isn't?
No, I'm not going to ever explain floor planning again. Floor planning is the dealership's line of credit that allows them to finance their inventory. At many dealerships, it's both new and used car inventory that they finance. They have a finance source that gives them a 10 million, 15 million, whatever the $1 million limit is at the particular store as to how much um, inventory they can finance at any given time. And manufacturers pay the dealers for new cars floor plan assistance to help offset the cost of carrying inventory that's sitting on the ground. Now, having said that, 2 years ago, floor plan interest rates might have been 1.5 to 2%, which was relatively inexpensive. Today, floor plan interest rates are 6.5, 7%, depending on whether it's new or used. So the cost of carrying that inventory has gone up. Now, if new car inventory is pre-sold, when it gets in and it doesn't sit on the dealership's lot for any time period at all, um, well, the floor plan assistance from the manufacturer actually becomes a profit center because you're not utilizing the floor plan assistance to, well, pay for floor planning. Well, as inventories are starting to build up again, guess what else is going up? The amount of interest on those floor plan loans. And dealers now have to actually, I don't know, write a check at the end of every month or the beginning of the month to the bank for the interest that's due for floating their inventory. And the floor plan assistance that they get from them from the manufacturers isn't enough to cover all that anymore.
All right, I want to share something on the screen, Dad, to help make sense of all this to everyone. All right, I'm going to pull this up right now and let's take a peek. We have an article back on caredge.com where we actually have all of the 2021 and 2022 Ford invoices, okay?
Okay.
Actual invoices from the dealership. Now, what
Wow.
you see on the invoice is you
Yes.
see HB, and we break it down in the blog post, but you and I are going to do it live right here. You see HB, that is holdback. That is under the line monies for the dealership.
I
The
thought that
invoice
meant
total
I thought that meant Hero Boy.
could that mean that too, Pops. Yeah.
Yeah.
Holdback. So that's for this particular vehicle, for this one that we're looking at, it's a $729 holdback. That's just money that goes to the dealership. That's under the line money. Then there's all sorts of different. Go ahead, Pops.
Well, I was going to say that's money they get after they sell the vehicle, and it's usually paid quarterly. So, um, if they were to actually sell this vehicle at their invoice cost of 36,605 55, and they didn't make a penny above that, they would still be picking up $729 in profit from their holdback.
Now, what else is on here, Dad? Let's talk about FPA and AA, and then we'll tie this back to that auto news article and why we are telling people a 60-day moratorium on car buying. But what is FPA, Dad?
That stands for floor plan assistance. And that's the amount of money.
Example.
Yeah, that's the amount of money that Ford is giving that dealer to help subsidize the cost of financing their inventory. So if for instance, and then the AA, that's not Alcoholics Anonymous, although many people in the car business probably go to Alcoholics Anonymous, but AA stands for advertising assistance. So if you're in a situation where you're not really spending any money to advertise, and if you're selling the car as soon as it comes in, and so there was close to $1,000 between floor plan assistance and advertising assistance, and
over $1,000
and $700 some dollars in holdback. So if they sold the car at invoice, they would still ultimately be making $1,700. Now, if they sat on that car for 2 months, well, then they would have actually had to use the floor plan assistance that Ford gave them. So that would no longer be a profit center. If they actually had to advertise to sell that car, well, then that advertising would no longer be a profit center because they actually had to spend the money. So, but you can see if a dealer, can you pull that invoice up again?
Absolutely, Dad. I can do anything you ask me to do.
Well, I just want to see. So the invoice price is $36,605. Do we have somewhere on that invoice what the MSRP is?
I could find it. This is just a screenshot from that page.
Okay.
Let's just say it's 38,000.
Well, okay, 38.6.
Yep.
Let's say there's $2,000 in profit between invoice and MSRP, plus another $1,700 that's available to the dealer in holdback, floor plan assistance, and advertising assistance. So and the reason all that money is what's known as under the line money, because dealers used to complain that customers could see the invoice and they know what they were making. So they figured out ways to pay dealers additional money that ultimately brings down the invoice price of the car.
So now, why am I coming on, Dad, and creating the title of the thumbnail and then pitching to you, hey, we should put a 60-day moratorium on buying a car? And why are we talking about floor plan? Because, Dad, let's look at the data. This is from 6 of the major public car dealership groups. Penske, AutoNation, Sonic, etc.
Group
Net
1,
floor plan
Asbury.
interest for the 6 major publicly held dealership groups was a big expense for the retailers in 2019 before turning into a profit center in 2021 as rates tumbled and floor plan assistance from automakers offset interest costs. But that lift is projected to fall this year because of higher rates. Pre-pandemic, Dad. This was, at the beginning of 2019, a $40 million cost center.
Yes.
For these big publics, and then a $30 million cost center. And then look at how much profit they made off of this.
Yes.
And now, Dad, we are reverting back to the mean. And why is that compelling for all of us? Why should we be waiting these 60 days? Because those dealers are going to be sitting on those cars. They're going to have gone from making nearly $100 million in floor plan money to, oh crap, we might be losing $100 million unless we discount inventory to get it off our lot, right?
Yes. And as their inventory starts to grow, it will become a matter of business, a course of business to say, okay, we want to still figure out a way to make floor plan assistance a profit center. So, ladies and gentlemen of the sales force, let's turn these vehicles as quickly as we possibly can. We don't want there to ever be 30, 60, 90-day units, new units sitting on the lot for that length of time. So we want to turn this would inspire the dealers, motivate the dealers to turn their inventory quicker rather than more slowly, because the cost of carrying it keeps going up. So if I ran the dealership and I saw that over the next 60, 90 days that my allocations have increased dramatically and that my inventory is going to increase dramatically, I would instruct my sales management team and my sales team, hey, we're taking car deals again. We're taking deals. We're moving the metal. MSRP was nice while it lasted. Somewhere between invoice and MSRP sounds pretty damn good to me. I want the cars out of here as quickly as possible.
Exactly, Pups. Exactly. And that's why I think, again, we put out a lot of content, and sometimes folks get on us because maybe it's a little too rapid, but truly 60 days from now, as consumers, we can put a moratorium on buying cars, new and used. The buildup will be there, and the incentive will be there for the dealership. And we're going to get into the data here about wholesale used car prices continuing to go down, new vehicle inventories continuing to go up, used car inventories the same as pre-pandemic. But before we do, Pops, let's jump here to the chat. We've had a lot of thoughtful contributions come through. Let's start here with Sandman. Thank you for the contribution, Sandman. Pops, Sandman wants to know lease buyouts due to high rates and upside down costs keep used cars off lots and no new cars to be sold. Perfect storm. All right, lease buyouts.
Well, yeah, right
rates.
now, in a lot of cases, the market value is much greater than the residual value, and moving forward, a lot of the new leases are taking away the option of being able to buy out your lease for the residual value at the end. So.
Yeah, we are seeing that. That is a major trend. Kayvon, Dad, thank you for the contribution, Kayvon. No more tonight, please.
Yes.
Using the black book value to negotiate right now. Just want to remind everyone back at CarEdge.com, if you sign up for our CarEdge coach plan, if you are buying a new or used vehicle, we can get you access to all of the market data, all of the auction data, black book, and others, so that as you are negotiating both your trade-in and a used vehicle you may be purchasing, our coaches can give you the right info. And I want to intro our coaches at some point tonight, Dad. I updated the website earlier today. I'm excited to show you that. Bob Flanders, thank you for the contribution, Bob. Pops, what is the term of floor planning loans? Will banks begin to lower the amount of outstanding floor planning loans? Are floor plan loans per car or dealer? And you mentioned a word earlier. It's kind of like a line of credit. That's my understanding, but you help educate me, Dad. And also there's this concept of curtailment payments and the banks wanting to get some of their money back. So help us understand a little bit what floor plan really looks like at a dealership.
Well, at franchise dealerships, new car franchise dealerships, oftentimes the floor plan is set up through the captive lender, and the lender will look at the dealer's books and at the dealer's credit history, and set a limit as to how much dollar wise they will floor plan, they will loan to that dealership. Now, on pre-owned cars where there can be curtailment charges, as the value of the vehicle goes down, because let's face it, pre-owned cars, typically the value goes down. As the value goes down, the lending institution could say to the dealer, well, we need you to make a larger payment to bring that vehicle back into the guidelines set up under your floor plan agreement. So there could be large checks that used car dealers have to write on their used car inventory. But I remember, at our Audi store, our inventory was like, I don't know, like $7.5, $8 million new car inventory. And
wow.
The rep said, he said, we're approaching the limit. It's like the debt ceiling limit. And so I said, so what are you going to do? He said, well, knowing your owner, we're going to raise the limit, but there are owners out there that aren't as well capitalized as others. And so as you approach that debt ceiling, there is no more wiggle room. And so that can impact a dealership saying, if they haven't sold enough cars, a dealership saying to their manufacturer, due to floor plan constraints, we have to turn down some of our incoming allocation until we can get back into the good graces and under the guidelines that were set up by the lender.
Yeah, and Pops, I've seen lots of YouTube videos talking about how some dealerships, not some, a lot of dealerships will likely go under this year and into the future because credit availability for those dealerships to buy those cars becoming tighter. Then obviously the lack of demand, which we'll talk about tonight, from consumers to buy those cars at those inflated prices. It's a bit of a recipe for disaster for some of those dealerships out there, which will cause them to shutter their doors. They then have to liquidate inventory. The banks are the ones liquidating the inventory. All of these are forces that will continue to drive prices of vehicles down.
Should, very well should. And the other thing that's going to drive the price of vehicles down is that we have a ever shrinking customer base that's actually in the position to be able to go out and buy a car.
Yep. Here we go. We've got from Igor saying, "You are on the money, Ray. Have you owned a dealership before?" Not yet, Igor. Not
I
yet.
never have, but I've worked for people who have.
One of the YouTubers I was mentioning, Car Questions, answered, Brandon over there. Good guy. Really encourage you to check out his channel. He'll be joining us actually on Wednesdays, every other week. In the near future over on the Ray and Zach channel. So Brandon's seeing new car inventory showing up at the auctions. I mean, the reason you're seeing that is because of what you were just describing, Pops.
Yes, the one thing that a dealer never wants to have happen is they never want to get out of trust with their lender. And what that means is that they've lost the ability to pay off the the cars that have been sold, so that they've sold the cars to customers, but they haven't paid the bank off for them yet. And the captive lenders, or any lender, doesn't really like that. And I worked for a dealer who
Yeah.
ultimately had to sell his stores because he ran out of working capital, and he
I mean,
became out of trust with his bank.
and that is the worst possible situation. Pops, let's come
Yes.
here. Mark. Thank you, Mark. Mark is a longtime supporter of CarEdge. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark, for being here. We really appreciate it. If Ray could use the same background as Zach, you would look like you were in the same room. Congratulations on CarEdge. Yeah, that's a good idea, Pops. Maybe in the future we'll do that.
Well, and we will. I do have a green screen here, but truth be told, I was too damn tired to want to mess with that tonight. Um, my place, as excited as I was to get back to it, and even though it's been cleaned, right. Even though it's been cleaned, it well needs to be cleaned. So I still have a lot of work ahead of me, and I was doing quite a bit today, and I ran out of energy, and I didn't have the energy to go mess with the green screen and then start cursing because I couldn't figure out how to get the picture to show up behind it. So, because you
Next
heard
time,
me
Pops.
when I was having trouble with the audio.
Next time. You did great. I'm very proud of you.
Yeah.
Kayvon, we're cutting you off. We're
Yeah.
cutting you off. He's
You are
dancing, but
not
I'm cutting you
allowed to
off.
donate money. Okay. You are not allowed. Encourage your friends and relatives. But you, my friend, are no longer allowed to donate.
No longer. And Dad, we've got from Tommy Bernard. Tommy, it's great to see you here on Saturday night, like always. I feel like these guys know what they're talking about. Ever thought of starting an educational site? And that is the perfect cue up. Give me a second here, folks. I want to show you what's going on back at caredge.com. And then, Dad, I have something special, something new to show you tonight as well. First thing special. I encourage everyone to go to caredge.com and scroll down to the Meet Your Coaches section
Wow.
because, folks, you can meet your coaches. These are real people helping real people save real
Save real
money. You
money.
can learn more about, you can learn more about Ashley. You can learn more about Justice. You can watch Justice over on the YouTube channel, or Ashley. We've got Kimberly here. We've got Space. We've got Mario. We've got Phil. We've got Jennifer. And if you want to read about the whole team, obviously, you can go over to our team page as well. But Pops, I want to remind everyone that on caredge.com, not only can you find all of the resources that we had on our previous website, like if you want to go to the car search, click on buy. If you want to sell your car and get cash values, click on sell. If you want to get financing through a credit union, go there. Insurance, warranty, resources, free data. This is going to take you to all of the cost of ownership information back on CarEdge.com. And this stuff is a gold mine, like truly a gold mine. Name a car, Pops. We'll go to the cube of insight.
Mazda CX-5.
And why did you choose the Mazda CX-5?
I believe there's one in your sister's future.
Yeah, they just ordered one, or they're waiting on theirs to come in. So if you
Yes.
go to a particular vehicle, you can see what the 5-year cost to own that vehicle is. And then, Dad, the cube of insight. Let's look at the maintenance cube.
Yes.
So if I click on maintenance, I can see what the expected 10-year cost in maintenance and repairs for this Mazda CX-5 will be, and also the likelihood of a major repair during that period of time. What's also nice about CarEdge.com is if I scroll down, I can see, broken down by year, obviously, but also the maintenance schedule.
Yes.
And Dad, the calculators, widgets, all the fun stuff you could ever imagine doing is all 100% free back on CarEdge.com. So if I click on depreciation, for example, I can then see my depreciation schedule.
You can even go in and put in the exact selling price of the car you're buying to get an even more exact depreciation schedule.
Exactly. I'm going to calculate the depreciation. There's an interest calculator here as well that takes into consideration resale values. Again, 100% free. We're actually working on integrating this into our car search as well. So when you're viewing a particular listing, and if you want to get back to like the other looking part of the website, CarEdge.com, guys. And if you want to work
Now,
with us, just click on
I have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead, Pop.
And you are the man that can answer this question. I could dance around it, but you could actually answer it. I've seen any number of commenters wanting to know. Well, that is a super handsome guy. Wanting to know, will there be a CarEdge app eventually that one
I
can
think eventually,
utilize?
yes.
Okay.
I have no clue when, but I think it's inevitable that eventually we will have like an app on your phone. So one of the things, all right, I'm doing the one other thing, and then we're gonna go back to the insights you need. So Pops, I didn't
Okay.
even tell you about this. Sorry when I don't tell you about stuff.
Well,
So we're working
that's
on.
every day, buddy. That's every damn day.
I'm going into the design files, gang. I want to show you what we're working on. I need some help from folks. So we're working on, when you look at a particular vehicle, there will be a button, Dad, like a help me buy button. Okay. Does that make
Yes.
sense? Help me buy.
Sure.
Then this will also be free, guys. Every single vehicle, we will give you a vehicle roadmap, the CarEdge deal roadmap. The roadmap includes trading, financing, contacting the seller, negotiating, and figuring out if you need any protections and coverages. And so on that roadmap, Dad, you'll answer the questions. Like if you have a trade-in, then it'll pull in, you'll add your car and it'll pull in the expected trade-in value. If you're financing, let me scroll down here. If you're financing, you can get pre-approved with a credit union, and then you'll be able to come back and put in your approval. Where this gets really, really compelling, Dad. Let me scroll down.
Yes.
Obviously, like we're going to give you the email templates or the call scripts and all that stuff. That'll be free. That'll be free. This is where stuff gets really fun. You add your out the door quote. All right. So you'll be able to add the selling price that they quoted you, the sales
Okay.
tax, the doc fee, the title fee, the registration fee, and then any additional fees. And what we're going to do here, Dad, that's super cool. Let me find the screen that shows it. Is you'll be able to search through our database of fees. We've got about 100 of them that we've documented. And you'll also be able to add different fees at a particular dealership. And this is where things are going to get really fun, because as you add more and more out the door quotes, as you go back and forth with the dealership, we're going to be able to, our coaches will be able to go in there, look at your deal, and give you feedback. And then ultimately it takes it to like protections and things like that. But you'll be able to track your deal in one place, and we'll be right there to help you every single step of the way. And Dad, as we capture these fees, we know
Yeah.
which dealership they're at. So then eventually on the car search, we'll be able to tell you what like expected add-ons might be and what those fees would be. I am so excited about this, and I need some help. I'm going to put it in the chat. We need to interview a few folks and put this in front of them next week on Monday, honestly. If you can fill out that form, that type form I just put in there, help us. Please help us. We want to sit down with you. We want to go over what I just did in 30 seconds and do it with you for like 20 minutes and get your feedback. So help shape CarEdge, fill out that form, and you might get contacted on Monday to join us for a quick interview. Thoughts, Pops?
I think that's incredible stuff. May I ask a silly question? For those who agree to invest 20 minutes or 30 minutes of their time
Yeah.
answering questions, giving you feedback. Um, is there anything in it for them?
Yes, you're going to leave them a voicemail. And here we go back to the chat.
I'm gonna leave them a voicemail, or my voice is going to be on there answering me. What is it?
Yeah, that one, the second one, the latter.
Okay.
Thank you, Dad. Appreciate it as always. Also, we can send folks merch. I'd be happy to send folks merch. I think those would be great ways to do it.
Yes, a little something, something, just to thank them for their time and their input.
I like that, Dad. I
Yeah.
like that. The form will take you about 60 seconds to fill out. Very simple stuff. Let's come back to the chat, Pops, and then I want to dig into a bit more data if you feel like you have the energy for it.
Just chatting with you and knowing that we've got a couple thousand of our favorite friends and viewers watching. That has, I don't know, it's kind of jacked me up. I'm ready to go, buddy. I found my second wind.
I love it, Dad. I'm happy for you. We got a thoughtful contribution from RG. Looks like it was probably a super sticker. Let's see how that second wind translates into dance moves. That's solid. And Dad, now
Yeah.
that you're back home and we both use the earbuds, you know what I can do?
No. This is too much like a Barry White background. Oh, baby.
All right, and here we
yeah.
go to Johnny
Yeah.
Buns. Thank you for the contribution. I've learned so much from y'all, so first, thanks. I'm considering a 2023 Tacoma SR5 and really want to buy this year. You think October to December this year will be safe, or just be patient and wait till 24 when things will bottom out? Now, Dad, a lot of folks watch our videos and they might say, you guys are always saying wait 60 days to buy a car. Wait, don't buy now, don't buy. No, at the end of December, we made videos and we were
Yes.
very clear. Now is the time to buy. If you're going to buy a new car, do it now at the end of the year. So as we read Johnny's comment here in the thoughtful contribution, what do you think, Dad? New Toyota. There's not a lot of inventory right now, but what do you think?
I think based on information that we read yesterday, I think it was about Toyota, they're expecting to produce close to 1.5 million more vehicles this year than they did last year. Now, my guess is a few of those will be Tacomas. I'm just guessing. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure since it's a popular truck, they'll make a few more of those. So I think as you start to see the Toyota inventory levels build up a little bit, now when will that happen? It might be 3 months from now, it might be 6 months from now, and typically, the best time to buy a vehicle is the last month of the year, and in particular, the last week of the year. So if we see Toyota inventories continuing to build, and if we see consumer demand to fall even just a little bit more between now and the end of this year, the end of the year could be a really, really, really good time to get a car deal.
I completely agree with you, Dad. And the Toyota news we're reading, they are pushing. They are going to make sure that they produce vehicles this year. They're not going to have a repeat year over year. And so, yeah, end of year, there's going to be a Toyota-thon this year. They're going to be kind of desperate for Toyota-thon, I imagine. Dad, we have this other thoughtful contribution, not a super sticker, though. Super stickers get Pops to dance, comments get Pops to answer. RG, thank you for the contribution. They say, congratulations, Zach. Saw you on Good Morning America earlier this week. That was quite the privilege and quite the honor. Thank you all for watching the videos to help me have that opportunity. You made it to prime time, but where was Pops? Where were you, Pops?
I would think I was sitting in my apartment in Bethesda, complaining about while still living in Bethesda.
We are going to get my dad on Good Morning America. Just wait. I mean, it will happen. Hopefully they can have both of us on at some point. Maybe we can share the story of CarEdge as well. That could be fantastic. And I want to pull this up. It's a family affair here on Saturday nights with CarEdge. Laura, my girlfriend, saying this show is even better when I have a Levan cookie to snack on. My dad very thoughtfully came over to our new place and brought cookies yesterday. Thank you, Dad. That was very kind of you.
You are very welcome. And just between you, me, Laura, and the I don't know, 5 or 6 people listening. Um, I really love your place, and and y- you know, I I rode home in a lift. I don't
Yep,
know
you
how this
did.
guy ever got a driver's license because I was getting whiplash from side to side. It was like riding in a train. Um, but but I was thinking to myself, it's like, my God, my children are grown up. They're real adult people. Dara and her husband have their house. You and Laura just moved into your new apartment, and it's, I'm thinking to myself, my God, they're they're like grown-ups, damn it.
Pops, could you say that maybe we would get
The
the
Rashevska stamp of approval.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I just
Thank you, Dad.
I just felt so good. Well, nauseous from the car ride, but so good thinking about how happy and proud I was of between you and Dara and Zach and Laura, and it was just, I don't know, it really meant a lot to me last night. That was, you know,
It meant a lot to me too, and I actually even shamelessly will pull this up briefly, and then we have got a thoughtful contribution. We got to get into some more of the data, Dad. You know how much I
yeah,
love the data and the data. I will
yeah.
share this
Well,
on the screen though. I am shameless. Like I just want to acknowledge that we are on Instagram at my CarEdge. And Dad, I used you looking at
yeah.
my matzo ball soup that I made for you because your
Ooh,
stomach's been bothering you recently.
yes.
And I made my dad matzo ball soup. You looking at the soup into a promotion for tonight's live stream. So,
I love that.
shameless,
And
truly
by the
shameless.
way, that soup was delicious. I mean, it really, really was.
I love it, man. I love it. All right, let's
No,
get
I
back on
loved it.
task here. We've
Okay.
got from Thomas. Thank you, Thomas,
Thank
for the
you, Thomas.
contribution. A shout out to Miss Kimberly Klein, which again, want to remind everyone, you can start to meet our coaches back at caredge.com. Just scroll down on the page. We're real people, helping real people save real money. For helping me learn about vehicle service contracts, I was able to save over $2,800 on a 10-year, 100,000-mile VSC for my 2022 Yukon Denali on YAA, now CarEdge, compared to what was quoted from the dealership. Dad, can you explain how we could possibly be $2,800 less expensive than the dealership vehicle service contract, which is typically called an extended warranty?
Yeah, we're not greedy. Okay. I mean, the whole
Pretty
concept,
simple.
yeah, the whole concept behind everything that we do is to make a reasonable, fair amount of return on our investment, and we're not greedy about it. I mean, dealerships see extended warranties, vehicle service contracts as huge profit opportunities, and there's nothing wrong with a dealership making a profit. Okay, they invest millions upon millions of dollars to put together the facilities that they have, and there's huge expense there, and they are entitled to make a profit, and they should make a profit. It's when they sometimes uh, take advantage of a customer in order to make that profit. If dealers were just upfront and they say, anytime we sell an extended warranty, we're going to make $1,000 or $1,500, whatever the number is, and so you would pay the same as the next person that comes in, as opposed to, maybe you're not as well versed in extended warranty sales, so you pay way too much, and the next person that comes in is better educated about it, and they pay a lot less. Wouldn't it just be fair if everybody paid the same? The markup was the same.
The chat's going crazy, so we're gonna have to turn our attention there. But Dad, it's not only the markup; it's also the fact that think about things that you spend thousands of dollars on, and think about how difficult it is to know what the price is. That's what I'm proud of here. You literally don't have to give us your email. You don't have to give us your phone number. You don't have to give us anything. You can just literally see what the cost of an extended warranty is. There's no gimmicks.
Yeah.
There's no gimmicks. You go to the dealership, it's like they're pulling wool over your eyes. There's no gimmicks here, guys. Like it's truly you. Oh, it's business use. Okay, it's gonna increase. That's what I'm most proud of, Dad. there's no games. There's truly no games. And it gives you leverage when you go into that situation. We get people that say, why do you guys sell extended warranties? They're sleazy. You're damn right. And that's exactly why we sell them. Because there's
Yeah.
millions of people. I was reading somewhere, Dad, it's like an $18 billion a year industry. Okay, let's make it a $12 billion a year industry by taking $6 billion of fat out of the market, and people can buy them from us without markup and just not get screwed. Anyway, let's go to the chat here, Dad. We've had a blowing up here.
Okay.
Chris, thank you for this. Toyota
Thank
in
you,
the
Chris.
Southeast is terrible. We have videos on this, Dad. Maybe we need to do another one about Southeast Toyota distributors. I wanted a 4Runner in December, but with all the markups, I ended up getting a Subaru Forester at $1,000 under MSRP. Toyota, take action. Pops, we hate Southeast Toyota distributors. They're owned by JM&A. They tack on all sorts of markup and products. It's crap.
Yes, yeah, it leaves a lot to be desired, to say the least.
Yeah,
But they're an independent distributor. They have this arrangement with Toyota. They've had it forever, and there really isn't anything Toyota can do at the moment. And what's funny is that because of the extras that get added at the port by Southeast Toyota distributors, and the shortage of Toyotas and Toyota dealers not being as willing to work with consumers, they lost a car sale to Subaru. Your sister really wanted a RAV4 hybrid. She's getting a CX5, because she can't get a hybrid in a reasonable time frame. B, they want to charge over to get it. And C, she was able to get, yes, Earl Stewart, God bless him. And C, she was able to get the CX5 at invoice. Okay, so yes, there was a potential Toyota customer that, well, is now a Mazda customer that will keep that car for 10 or 12 or 15 years, because I believe this is the first new car that Dara or Zach will have ever owned.
Let's keep moving, Pops. I hear you loud and clear. I dropped in the chat the link to our video on Southeast Toyota distributors. It is terrible what they do. Randy, thank you, Randy. Randy is like Mark. Like, they've been around since the beginning. We appreciate, Randy, you being involved in your contribution.
Thank you,
Ray,
Randy.
your children are adults. Wait till you have grandchildren. I think he is waiting for that.
I have no choice but to wait for that.
Last time I checked, you can affect some things, but not all.
Not
Dad,
that.
an incredibly thoughtful contribution from Johnny. Thank you, Johnny. We
Johnny.
really appreciate it. Y'all remind me of me and my pops. It's great to see. Yeah, I think a lot of people appreciate that aspect of what we do, Dad. The fact that we get to work together and spend so much time together. It's really incredible.
Yeah, it's the highlight of my life. Yes.
I actually had someone, I'll share it on the screen really quickly, because if you meet us here on YouTube and you wonder, are these guys, who are they? I'm spending more time on Twitter, just trying to share more and more about behind the scenes and things like that. And also, Dad, recently we had someone who went over to my personal website and they saw one of my old blog posts, What My Mom's Death Taught Me About Living. If you read this, I think you'll understand why me and my dad are as close as we are. We weren't always. And also, if you go over to Shefska.com, if you click on the blog up here, you can read about why I quit my job to go into business with my dad. So, like, the whole story is out there, folks. There are no... We're real people. We're just real people. And fortunately, we have this platform, and we have, everyone's commitment to help us build these things that can hopefully help folks save money. So it's really awesome. I'm really proud of what we're doing, Dad.
Me too. And Kayvon's been banned. I'm telling you.
One second, we're gonna move through these chats. Dad, Catherine Kendall, who's actually on the team at CarEdge. Catherine, thanks for joining us for a live stream. We really appreciate giving a contribution as well. And Catherine, just so you know, I'm gonna pull this one out from the YouTube ad revenue, and I'm taking your $10. But no, I'm kidding. Hey y'all, you're buying a car now or soonish? I'd like to chat with you about some ideas we have brewing. Yeah, please. Again, I'll put the type form. It's 30 seconds, 60 seconds to fill out the form. You will get some merch from CarEdge, as well as potentially Ray Shefska's voice on your answering machine if you have an
There you
answering
have it.
machine. So please, yeah, we would love to meet with you as we do research on the steps, the roadmap, the deal roadmap. And Dad, Eric Holloway, with a contribution that as long, do you see any text there? Because I don't see any text to you.
No, thank you so much, Eric.
I'm going to send that snippet to the Good Morning America producer I worked with and from Kayvon, Dad.
Yes.
Kayvon is, someone figure out where Kayvon is and stop him. Stop him. We've got a thoughtful contribution. Swope Hyundai was a complete 180 on Oxmoor Hyundai. I was able to negotiate on my trade-in and gave me an out-the-door price without haggling for it. Can you speak to this, Dad? There are some dealerships who appreciate the work that we do to educate customers and will actually give you the information you need.
And there are some dealerships that understand that it makes for a much more pleasant experience, not only for the customer, but also for the salespeople and the staff. If when a customer asks a question and you are allowed to directly answer it, it makes everybody's life easier. You don't have to utilize all the tools that you were taught on how to persuade people to do something sooner than they might have wanted to do it. Yeah, there's great value in the dealerships that will actually see you, hear you, answer you.
Absolutely, Pops. And that's part of what we try and do. Earl Stewart's a perfect example of that.
Yes.
He's active over on the CarEdge community forum. I mean, he runs a dealership and he's on a community forum responding to people. It's a beautiful thing to see. And we've got a thoughtful contribution from Shannon.
Thank you, Shannon.
Shannon's one of the originals as well. Really, really, really appreciate her contribution and being here with us. Another great show under your belt. Thank you for that, Shannon.
Do we have any idea as to why Shannon is a Montreal Expos fan?
No.
You need to share that
you've
with
asked,
us.
I'm sure.
Yes.
I'm sure we'll get. Dad, can I share some other industry news with you? Because it is very important. We talked about this over on the Ray and Zach channel yesterday. You're getting a phone call.
Jay's calling in the middle of a show. You know, what else?
Come on, Jay.
Yeah.
Come on, Jay. Here we go, Dad. This is in the latest data from Cox Automotive. December auto loan performance deteriorates. So there's another storyline here, guys, which is the loan delinquency rate in the industry leading to likely an increase in repossessions. But let's talk about it, Dad. Auto loan performance in December saw further deterioration. Loans delinquent by more than 60 days increased by 5.3% and were up 26.7% from a year ago. Now,
that
Dad, when you
seems
start
like
to
a
look
lot, isn't 26% a lot?
I mean, when you're talking about loans and delinquencies year over year, it's up 26%. Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
But Dad, it gets more interesting. Of all loans, 1.84% were severely delinquent, more than 90 days delinquent, which was an increase from 1.74% in November and the highest rate since February 2009. Now, Dad, when you look at subprime loans, this is the haves and have-nots. Okay, so folks who were forced to buy more expensive vehicles than maybe they could get, but they got extended terms, so their monthly payment was okay. In December, 7.11% of subprime loans were severely delinquent, 90 days or more without a payment, Dad. 90 days or more.
Wow.
Increasing from 6.75% the prior month. The subprime severe delinquency rate was 163. What is it called, Dad? BIPS?
BIPS, baby. BIPS.
Higher than a year ago. And the December rate was the highest in the data that Cox Automotive has. So we kicked tonight's show off, Dad, talking about don't buy a car right now, wait 60 days. There's a moratorium, a 60-day moratorium on buying cars because it's going to put more pressure on dealers because they're going to have more floor plan costs, which means they're going to want to negotiate more and incentivize. We also have, Dad, the looming repocalypse. Whenever the hell it comes, there's a looming repocalypse. Okay,
or
there is
a rooming
repocalypse. And when that happens, Dad, you're not only going to have down consumer demand, increased expenses for the dealers, you're also going to have an increase in supply. What goes up must come down.
There you have it. I like when you do all that.
Thank you, Dad. I really appreciate that.
Well, you're welcome.
Want to remind everyone that there are free answers to your car buying questions over on the CarEdge community forum, community.caredge.com. All right, Dad, let's answer James's question real quick. He says, doesn't that mean my trade-in is worth more now? What's your thoughts on trade-ins, Dad? When would you be thinking about selling a vehicle?
Your trade-in is worth more today than it will be tomorrow, and it's worth more tomorrow than it will be the day after tomorrow. Used car prices, values are depreciating at a slightly higher level than they have historically. Last year, according to Black Book, they depreciated at a 22.9% rate, I believe it was. Typically, it's 12 to 16%. And so far, the beginning of this year seems to indicate that we're running at slightly higher than historical norms.
Yep. So trading in a car, you can't really do that unless you're buying a car, but selling a car, you can do that whenever the heck you want. And if you can go, it's like Dad, a year ago when people were saying, should I sell a car and then go buy another one? And we'd say, well, if you can sell your car now, sell your used car. The price is never going to be as high as it is right now. But if you can wait to buy the car because prices for buying a car is so inflated. Now it's the opposite. If you can sell a car, sell it yesterday. But then if you can wait 60 days, you're probably going to get a better deal on the one you're buying. We've talked about it ad nauseum, Dad. For most people, there's 3 factors that impact the decision-making of when to buy a car. What interest rate can I get approved for? What's the price of the car that I'm buying? And how much can I get for my trade-in? And there's a triangulation that happens there to actually, figure out when the best time is.
And God knows we'll never actually be able to triangulate it as accurately as we would like.
We'll try our best to, though. We've got from Love Maui, Hawaii. Does your site show invoice prices? No, we don't have invoice prices, but we do on the community forum. Folks share them from time to time. So we have some sources, but no, we don't have like a consistent feed of invoices from dealers. One other thing to bring up tonight, Pops, I want to talk a little bit about the affordability crisis. It would not be a show without talking about that. The average transaction price for a new vehicle was $49,507 at the end of last month. And the average transaction price for a used car also ticked a bit higher as well in December. We have a let you wrap with a bit of I'm going to cue you up. How about this? I'll cue you up, but then I want you to wrap tonight's show around the affordability and why there's an issue there. But before you do,
I know that people my age, people half my age, people my son's age, they just can't afford to buy a car today because the price of cars is too damn high. And if you live out in a rural area, how the hell are you getting around? You can't afford that truck. You can't afford that tractor because the price of transportation is just too damn high.
Well, I don't think I could have said it better. But it's getting worse. Okay, the price, not only is the price of cars and transportation, I bet you the price of horses has probably gone up. It is staggering to me, and anybody that watches our daily show or is participated in any of these live streams, you've heard me say this 1,000 times, but it is staggering to me what the average transaction prices are. Now, obviously, the average transaction price last month of $49,507 doesn't mean that every car sold was $49,507. I mean, your sister is buying a car and it's sub $30,000. So there are vehicles out there that the transaction prices are well below what the average transaction price was in December. But the fact that the average transaction price keeps rising, and it's rising because MSRPs are rising. The fact that the manufacturers figure that they can get away with continually increasing the prices of their vehicles makes it even harder for the average person to be able to afford a vehicle. If you're a farmer, how much have combines gone up? How much have tractors gone up? If you're a carpenter and you drive a pickup truck, how much have pickup trucks gone up? It seems to me that the prices of all these things have gone up much faster and much higher than wages. And so that if wages can't keep up with these inflationary pricing, then there's fewer and fewer people that can actually afford to be in the market to buy a car. So it's it's counterproductive to having a healthy, growing industry to keep constantly raising MSRPs. I'm astounded on a daily basis that so many people can afford the type of payments that they drive out of dealerships with. It's mind-boggling to me.
Now, make sure if you are going to go through that experience, and heck, even if your insurance is coming up for renewal or you want to try and refinance, even though rates are going up, please, caredge.com is where you can get access to all of our various resources. We are 3 years in the making here, guys. So there's a lot back on the website. And I just want to point out tonight, especially, we've updated the bottom, towards the bottom, towards the bottom. Meet your coaches. And I want to focus in on Justice. I know he's here in the chat with us tonight. Justice is an incredible gentleman and truly an awesome coach. Justice's coaching superpower, patience. I know this is many people's first time buying a car or the first time trying so hard to not get taken advantage of. I will explain the smallest thing. There is no question too small. I want to educate you and help you get a good deal, not just this time, but for the rest of your life. If you sign up with us, our CarEdge coach plan, again, we are working on so many aspects of the systems, the app, the thing to help make Justice's life easier as a coach, your life easier as a customer. I'm just asking you, please go back to caredge.com. Please make yourself aware of the different resources we have. And Pops, as our name gets out there more and more and more, please know if it doesn't come in the drop down, please use the VIN. It'll show up with the VIN. Please know that we are all about positivity. We are all about helping people save money and time. We are all about consumer empowerment. Our names are going to get thrown out there left, right, sideways. Doesn't really bother us. Actually, I don't watch any of it. I know you might watch that stuff. That I don't watch a single thing because I don't want to get distracted, because the only thing that matters is the community and the fact that we're helping people. So very proud of that, and just want to end tonight on a high note. Please go read about our coaches. Please join our community.
As I like to say, for anybody that when they want to call us out or whatever it is, you do you, we'll do us. I'll say this as nicely as I can. I don't care what you are doing. I am only concerned about what we are doing and what we are building to help people. If as a fellow YouTuber, you don't see value in what we're doing, great. There are thousands of people out there that do. There are thousands of people out there that we have helped. There will be many, many more in the future. So you guys do you. We're going to do us. And I think everybody can have a good and happy life.
Do you use your the fastest growing Swedish company that unfortunately came to not be? Information to sign in for CarEdge. We will be doing a migration next week. So you'll receive an email communications from us. If you're an existing YAA member, you will receive email communications from us this upcoming week. So in like 3-4 days, as the transition is fully occurs this upcoming Monday. Zark says,
yes.
And thank you for the contribution. Can y'all add 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 cylinders? Also, instead of picking every engine, it's nice, but also a simpler option would be nice. Yeah, maybe Zark. The data manipulation on our car search is pretty challenging at times. So just to make everyone aware of what Zark is talking about, I'll pull it up on the screen really quickly. And Pops, we actually have some new features on the car search that are important to point out. So let me pull that up. So I'm on I'm on caredge.com. Let's say I want to search for that Mazda CX-5. So over here on the left, if I go to engine and drivetrain, I can choose different engines. You can, if there are a lot of options here, you can actually search. So it'll pull up the one at the top. And the other thing that I want to pull up, Dad, is we added recently the feature search. So now if you want to know if there's a specific feature on one of the vehicles, like you want a Mazda CX-5 with heated seats, there you go. Now you're looking at the 27,665 Mazda CX-5s nationwide that have heated seats. If you want to know it has Apple CarPlay, if you want to know that it has, I don't know, a sunroof. So please use the feature search. It's a great aspect of the CarEdge website. And the other nice thing, Dad, this vehicle's been on the dealer's lot for 137 days. I want to look at the price history. Right there. I can see it coming down nicely. So please use this information. And again, Pops, I know you like to harp on it. How much does that cost?
Free. It's free. It's absolutely 100% free.
Exactly. Ken, thanks for taking the time to read the blog about my mom. Miss her dearly. I'm sorry that you had the same experience, but hopefully it shaped you in the same way that it shaped us. And Dad, Shannon, with the final, what I'm going to say is the final super sticker of the night, which will get one more sound clip out of it. And yes, your answer.
And
Dad.
now we know why she was a Montreal Expos fan, which would mean that now she needs to be a Washington Nationals fan because that's who the Expos are today. And I remember Tim Raines, a hell of a ball player, hell of a stolen base guy, just an unbelievable ball player. So thank you for sharing that, Shannon, and allowing me to know why you were such a Montreal Expos fan. And that logo looks good. We saw a lot of those when we were in Montreal last summer.
We did indeed. Pops, I'm glad you got your second wind, but you need to rest. You need to get off of this stream and you need to go relax and feel proud of your new home, your condo that was renovated. I'm very excited for you. So please, everyone join us on Monday.
I need to go across the hall and find out why Jay was calling me.
That's true. Our Monday through Friday show, folks, is on the Ray and Zach channel. So please just YouTube search Ray and Zach and you'll find us there. Dad, thank you for your time tonight. I'm glad you're home safely and I'll talk to you on Monday.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for spending part of your Saturday night with us. We really, really appreciate it.